Okay, so today is November the 13th. We are finally starting some algebraic expressions. One thing you guys just don't realize is that you have honestly been doing algebra since kindergarten and first grade.
What?
All it is they would give you math problems that might look like this, or something that's, okay, something that might look like this. Well, that's supposed to be an O, like a fill in the blank. Okay, and you would fill in the triangle or the circle, and you knew the answer. Like, you knew it because of fast facts. You know 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, this is still algebra because these are what they call like an unknown. We don't know it. We don't know what the triangle is supposed to be. Okay? What? Yes? Huh? We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm getting there. So, when you're younger, they start out with doing some shapes, kind of fill in the blank type thing. The reason is if they start letters back then, you would be totally confused. Because back then, you're still learning what does each letter sound like. If I put this letter in this word, it makes this word, but if I put the same letter in another word, it makes another word. You're learning about the letters in a certain way. Okay, so what they do is now that you already started a little bit last year, but now with 6th grade, you're starting with variables, which is any letter of the alphabet, in a math problem. And all it is another way to explain an unknown. I can take this same math problem, and I can say 2 minus y equals 1. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a y or a z or a circle. It's still y is 1. It's just y equals 1. Now, we will learn how to figure out what each letter is kind of later. We start out first with us telling you what the letter is. It's going to be kind of like a fill in the blank. You fill it in and solve the problem. Okay? Now, there are a few things I need you to kind of see in the beginning. First off, okay. Quick click in and look up here. Okay, the fancy word is variables. And all a variable is a letter in a math problem. Okay? Giving you some hints. Giving you some hints. Okay, in math, for this kind of math, for algebra, they are lowercase. Okay, so they're the little letters, not the big ones. Couple other hints. Usually, you don't see the letter I or L because they look like a 1. Okay. You usually don't see O because it looks like a 0. But have I seen them all before? Yes. I don't make worksheets with them, but I've seen them before. Of course, the most popular are what I call X and Y. Okay. But you can see any letter of the alphabet. Okay. And the reason they're lowercase, algebra's lowercase. But back when you were doing geometry and you would do things like angles, or someone might give you like a ray and they would tell you to give it names, okay, that was where the uppercase stuff is all in the geometry. So all the geometry is the uppercase letters. And then what we do in algebra is the lowercase. Yes? Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. And PEMDAS is just a way to remember order of operations. Just a trick. So, yes. Now, okay, so the other thing I want to talk about. Here's the biggie. And I've kind of already said this year, but I want to show you some different ways. You got it? Sweet. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we can have something like 3 times 6 And we know it's 18. And it can be written as a multiplication problem. I'm sorry, I'm having we're trying to make it where y'all can see it. But okay, so that's multiplication. Then a few years later, for some reason the world wanted to throw in a dot. Okay, well I'm going to tell you right now, that dot goes away by next year. The X is not used, the times sign, because it is a variable in algebra world. It's an X. Okay, so what they do is they honestly drop both of those, and what they do is they put parentheses around the second number. So 3 times 6. The only reason I know that that is multiply is because any number bumped up against that parenthesis, and there's not a symbol there, there's not a plus, there's not a minus, there's not a divide, I have to memorize now that that means multiply. It's kind of like the grown-up multiply, okay? Now, you can have numbers that way. You could have a number bumped up against a letter with a parenthesis, okay? Honestly, you can have it without the parenthesis. So they just drop the parentheses, but because they're touching, because they're bumped up against each other is why it's multiply. Okay? Honestly, you will even see one today, and it's not as hard as it looks, but you will see something like this. AB. Well, it's 2 letters. A might be a number, B is a number, and we're going to multiply. It still means multiply because there's no symbol between them. Okay? You don't have one today, but you could have 3 letters in a row. You could have A, B, C. If they're all squished up together, no symbols in between, no operations, then they just mean multiply. And this is kind of something we just have to memorize. Okay? Yes?
So next year we won't have the dot.
Right. And today I'm really begging you to honestly drop both of those. When you see me writing these out today, you're going to see me using parentheses. It's kind of like the more grown-up way of writing it. Okay? So, here we go. If you will stick with me, this is not hard at all. In fact, it's easier than anything. But it's the learning how to write it. So you get a nice, beautiful practice. Okay? Uh-huh. Yeah. Now, so starting out, there is not even any vocab, because we're just still doing algebraic expressions, which means like what I call algebra math problems. Now, the first thing you have to do is be willing to read directions. If you don't read the directions, you're going to end up using the wrong number for the wrong letter. Okay, so our notes today, evaluating, meaning figuring out the answers to algebraic expressions. Listen, no equal signs. No equal signs. Okay, the first set says, evaluate each expression if m equals 6 and n equals 12. This is why I'm saying, this starts out really easy. They literally give us what they want our variables to be. So, look at number 1. They give you the math problem, m plus n. Step 1, fill in the m and the n. You got to show me you know what each letter represents. M is 6, put the plus, n is 12. Okay, so that's step 1, and then step 2, solve it, which is 18. Like I said, today's just as easy as yesterday. Number 2, n divided by m. So, first, you can't just write 2, guys. I got to see 12 divided by 6. Then the 2, yes. Make sure you show it. That's 2 points if y'all skip that step. Number 3. Now, this is where I need you to look at how I write it. Remember, no dot. I need you to write it as 3 with parentheses, 12, meaning 3 times 12. That's not 312.
36.
That's 3 times 12.
36.
Okay. Now, you're right. We have multiply and add. We got to do the multiply first, which is 36 plus 8, 44.
Bro, this thing messed up.
Well, it means to multiply because 3 times n means 3 times n. You can put a dot there. You don't want to put a multiply sign because it's going to start looking like variables. I need you to learn to put parentheses.
On the test, can you put an X?
No. I need you to not put an X unless it's a variable. So kind of kick this in now about the parenthesis thing, guys. Yeah, like for now, yeah. No. Yes.
I have a question. So on the test, are y'all grading on if the answer's right or if your steps are right?
All of it. So each thing might be 2 points. Okay. Going to the next set. It says, evaluate each expression, and this time it says, if A equals 9, B equals 3, and C equals 12. Okay, so first, number 1, they wrote the problem. Number 2, fill it in. B is 3, so I'm going to put a 3 right here to the second power, plus 4 times 6. Now, I'll admit, I wish they hadn't even put that dot there, but that's okay. We know it means multiply. Okay, so just keep it the way it is. If they gave it to you that way, you can keep it that way. Okay, do we want to do exponents first, plus or multiply? Exponents. And 3 squared is? 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Bring down the rest of it. Please quit hurting out, guys. Add or multiply? Listen, 3 squared means 3 times 3. 2 3s. Okay, so multiply the 4 and the 6, getting
24 plus 9
is
33.
Okay.
God.
Please stop now. Thank you. Yes.
I didn't copy down 3 to the second power and I just put 9.
Nope. You got to copy it down. You have to copy it down. It has to look like mine. Yes.
What's that thing next to 5?
An A.
Oh. Wait. I thought it was like a G or Q. What?
Sit down, please. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. Yes?
So I'm on number 3.
I'm not on number 3 yet. Here we go on number 2. Turn around, please. Okay, it says b squared, or to the second power, however you want to say it, b squared plus 5a minus 20. Okay, well they gave us the letters up here, so we know b is 3 squared plus 5, now times a. I really don't want a times sign. Try to do a parenthesis. And then minus the 20.
Is it bad if you do a times sign?
Yes, it is wrong.
Will you get
Yes, it is wrong.
Pretty sure you already asked that.
Now, I need you to look at something. You've got squared plus, this means multiply or subtract. What would we do first?
Multiply.
Exponents. exponents. 3 times 3.
9.
9.
No, we did not.
We did on the last problem. London Kate.
So, if 5 times 9, we wouldn't keep it the same as 5, we would just change it.
Okay. The first time, guys, the first time you would write a problem, like if you were writing it on notebook paper, you would have to write this. You would copy this. Then when you write the second time, you fill in the variables. That's showing the teacher that you knew, you looked up here and A was 9. And you knew that B was 3. So that has to be there. You can't skip a step.
I thought we didn't change it until it was like
Well, we start changing it here once it's filled in. So here I've got it all filled in. So I start PEMDAS here. Does that make sense? Okay. So I started with exponents, 3 squared being 9. I'm trying to think. There's no more exponents. Okay, so add, multiply, or subtract. We're going to do the multiply. So 5 times 9 is 45. Okay, I now have add and subtract. I'm going to do this add first because from left to right is the first one I touch. So 54 and then minus 20 is 34. Okay. Yes.
I think she's asking, like, the 5 and the 9, would you change it to a 9 in the first?
Up here? Not. First you want to write the problem, I guess you say the original expression. Like, I get what you're asking. Like, can you go ahead and fill it in? But first you have to write the original expression, then fill it in.
I was meaning on the second line. After we write the top line on the second line, since we were starting with exponents, since we were supposed to be keeping it the same, we still change 5 to
Change the 5 and the 9 too? Like to 45? What does she mean?
Like, since you already changed the 3 to the second, the 3, you changed the B to the 3. She's saying
B to the 3. Got it.
would you already change the 5A instead of going to another line and changing it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I got it. Took me a little bit. I got it. Okay. I like that. That's deep thinking. I see what you're saying. Meaning, I guess by the rules I'm saying I should have only filled in one letter at a time. But, okay, I guess the way I should word it is the first step is to fill in all your variables that they gave you. Okay? Fill them all in. Basically, what will happen in our future will be we will work it out as much as we can. Today, we get to an answer. Like, we get to a cute little number answer. But as the time goes on, later, you might get down here and you solve for X or Y. And you find out X is 7 or something. So, for right now, the first step is just to fill in all variables. Yeah. So, not just one variable, but all variables. That's a good question. I got it now. Yeah. Fill in the B and the A. It's a good one. I like it. It just took me a minute. I couldn't figure it out. Okay. On this one, I really wish you'd look because some of you have gone ahead, and that's not a big deal, but it might be when you go to write these things. Okay. AC means A times C divided by 2 times B. Now, those are parentheses. Those are parentheses to be grouping symbols, PEMDAS, the first step. So, first, fill in your letters. A is 9 times C is 12. Now, 2 times 3. Now, you could do parentheses. You could do a dot here because I know if I did parentheses inside parentheses, y'all might flip out. So, you can do that. The key is, this is first. These parentheses, meaning for PEMDAS, that P is the first step. So, step 1 is get rid of 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay, now get rid of the multiply from left to right. This would be the first thing we hit, 9 times 12. And then divide by 6 would be the 18. No, it's not him. He's not moving. Scoot up 3 inches. Don't move. Yes. The 12 and the 9 are multiplied?
Yeah, I got 18.
Oh, I swapped them, didn't I? Yeah. It doesn't matter. 12 is in the parentheses. You can put both in parentheses. It really doesn't matter. Yeah. You'll see a lot of parentheses later, I'll just be honest. Now, here's the thing with these word problems, though. When I first started doing this, really teaching a few years ago, I was like, it kind of flipped me out because all I could do was I'd look at these problems and see a bunch of letters, and it just kind of scared me. But I want you to realize something before we even look at it. Everything you need to solve it is there. You just got to dig it out. It's going to be in different places. You got to find it. Okay, so here we go. Guys, I will make your life easier on word problems if you will help looking and listening. Here we go. Okay, it says, a Gentoo, I guess, I don't know how to say it, penguin can swim at a rate of 17 miles per hour. So, there's a rate of 17 miles per hour. How many miles can a penguin swim in 4 hours? Okay, now, this is where I notice. It says use the expression. When they say expression, I kind of think math problem. Use the math problem, RT. Guys, look at that. It's not Greek handwriting. Look. Use the expression, RT. That means math problem, R times T. Where R represents rate and T represents time. It told you everything you needed right there. So if R is my rate, they want the rate to be 17. If time is hours, they want it with the 4. And we know 2 letters bumped up against means multiply. 68. So you're just multiplying, and it's 68 miles in 4 hours. This is what I'm saying, is it's all in there. You just got to find it. Okay? Now, the next one, same thing. You got to be willing to pick it apart. Okay, it says there is a company that charges $6 to make a pattern for an order of shirts. So I want you to think about it. They got to lay out this t-shirt. It has a certain way it's going to be cut, made, and all that. They charge $6 for the basic style of the t-shirt. Just $6. They might do it on paper. They might do it on computer. But it's $6. Okay. Then it's $11 for each t-shirt that it makes, that it produces. Okay. Here's your thing. The expression, the math problem, 11n plus 6 represents the cost of n t-shirts with the same pattern. Look, we keep using this 6 for the pattern because every pattern is going to be the same. Notice the word pattern. Okay, 6 is already in there. Look at the next part. Okay, 11 is, they're talking about 11 right there for each t-shirt. And 11 is right there.
11 times 6.
Okay, where is the N though? It says find the total cost for 5 t-shirts with the same pattern. How many numbers of t-shirts do they want? 5. So, all you're doing is figuring out N is 5. So it's 55 plus 6, which is $61 for that many t-shirts. Here's the weird thing about algebra. That's algebra. We just don't say an algebra problem when we do that. When this school orders a bunch of t-shirts for a club or for a group, cheerleading outfits, whatever, I promise you, your coaches and all that have sat down and figured out the money. How much does each person need to pay to cover the bill? When I go to the grocery store, I grab 2 gallons of milk. They're $3 each. How much are they going to charge me? 6. I go over, I grab a bag of Doritos. They're $4. How much do I now get charged? 10. I just keep doing it. And listen, you're right. Do you know how they added plus 6 up here for the pattern? Okay, I think a plus tax. Plus tax is kind of like the unknown when we go to the checkout. We kind of know in our head that if the bill's only like $2, it's only going to be like 14-15 cents. But we got to know that if it's $100, it's going to be a lot more. Okay? It's kind of an unknown. The other thing that I think of as a fixed price, like this person always adds 6 for the pattern. The one thing I think of is shipping and handling. A lot of times when you have packages shipped, they'll just give you a flat rate, like it's $12.99. So they just add it on. Doesn't matter if it's a little thing or a huge thing. Okay? We do algebra, we just don't word it that way. When I'm walking to the grocery store, I'm not sitting there writing an algebra problem. But in my head, I'm doing the math to see if I can afford the grocery cart before I go up to the checkout. Okay? I even subtract it from my checking account to see if, I'm sitting there thinking, well, I got this much money. Can I spend this much? I'm doing it. It's all algebra. Okay? Like I said, the basic algebra that I'm teaching you right now is all over your future world. Like what you do is just a grown-up. We just don't talk about it. Like we do this when we would order t-shirts for clubs and stuff. We do this all the time. They're going to charge us for figuring out the print, like if it's an arrow or a big T. Then they're going to charge us for maybe shipping. Got to add some more. Then I got to figure out how many kids are going to order to cover the bill. So, and then I have to figure out, like, if that's the bill, how much is each kid going to pay? So I actually go back and divide and stuff like that. It's kind of weird, but, like, we do it all the time. Okay, now listen. On the back. Okay, first off, start out, just kind of scratch this out. I'm being silly. I just didn't feel like doing this part. I did it in one class, but okay. Okay, the next thing. So you're scratching out the little chart. Okay, I'm going to move up. I wish you would look, because this is easy to understand if you will look, okay? For some reason, I chose not to do this middle row. I do not know why. Just the middle row. Okay, yes. Just this middle row. It kind of gave us a good variation of problems. Okay, you can also notice that this first set, they use A is 3, B is 4, and then down here they use these numbers. So make sure you change your numbers or whatever, your letters. Now, I tried in first period to do this in the spot, like how much space they gave me. And I'm going to be honest, it did work. It worked on the first 3 or 4, but after that, I started running out of space. I am begging you to show your work on notebook paper. I am begging you to show your work on notebook paper. So, what I'm going to do is show you exactly how I would set it up on notebook paper. Okay, once again, I am begging you to show me on notebook paper? Right over there. There's some on that desk. Yes, guys, when you get to the bottom section, you can't fit it. So let me give you some examples. Okay, so starting out, first, when you do these problems, okay, first, you would copy the math problem. Okay, so like number 4 right here says 10 plus b. Yes, you have to write 10 plus b. You have to copy the problem. Okay, step 2 is fill in the variable. B is 4. I'm getting it from right there. So, I put a 4 there. Copy the rest of the problem. And then, yes, solve it, which is 14. Okay. Now, what I did was this. I just have been going back and forth. Like, I'll do 4, and then I'm going to do 6 right here, because it's the one over there. And just kind of keep going. Okay, so 6. Let's see. 4b. Got to copy the problem. Okay, fill it in. 4 times b minus 5 times a. Okay. Only put the 16. Then do this math. 5 times 3 is 15. To get the 1. Go do number 7 now. It is a times b. They could have written it any way. They could have put parentheses. They could have put it up against each other, just AB. But since they did the dot, that's fine. I'm going to do the dot. Now, for the sake of recording, what I'm going to do is keep doing just like the left side of the page. That way you've kind of got some examples of what I'm going to call not just the easy ones, but as I go down this page, maybe some of the harder ones, just to kind of see if you're on the right track. Okay, so on this one, like B is 4. I just kind of spread them apart. I mean, I know it's annoying to use this much paper, but guys, I hate to say it, but you kind of got to just get over that part. It is now time for first round buses to be used.
I'm so close to being done.
Lucas has to go next door today. She's going to go today.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. There's 13. Now I'm going to do 16. please stop. Keep working.
Can I use the restroom too?
No. I want to see you first get done with what you got to do.
So we're only doing the left side or the right side?
We're doing both sides. For the sake of this video, I'm just doing the left side so everybody's got some problems they can check at home. So you will keep going. We'll do 12, 15, and then this would be 18. Okay.
Question 12. You know how you can do multiply or divide, but you do divide, for instance, it's going down that way?
Yes.
Would you divide 18 by 2?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to go down and do 19. Now, be careful. When you reach 19, you're on a new set of directions right here, where x equals 7, y equals 15, and z equals 8. So, yeah, it looks like it's starting to be big numbers. But, guys, I mean, if you think about the math, it's still not any harder than what we did in regular math class. So, you just kind of have to accept that part. I don't know. 7 plus 15 plus 8. So 22 plus 8. You are welcome. Bishop, I thought you were going to do something. I thought you were going to do something. Oh. I was trying to let you. What bell do you leave on to go home? Go to the bathroom real quick. Go to the bathroom real quick. I thought you left later than that.
It is now time for car ride.
Miss Ritchie about our Spanish partner.
May be dismissed.
Do these last two. Let's see. 7 This one's kind of silly. I don't know why they made it so easy.
Is Bishop in here again today?
He is. He ran to the restroom.
Okay. Did you have him come to me before?
He's coming. He already mentioned it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're fine. Okay. Last one. I just want to see if these at the bottom were what I'm going to call a little more difficult, but 7 times 8 minus 2 times 15 plus 8. Okay. Got to do multiply here first for 56. Got to do multiply here next. Have a good one. Okay. Now I got subtract.
Whoa, I messed up somewhere.
34. Okay, so you finally see what I'm going to call the multiple steps that take some time. Because looking at that, like, if I kind of highlight what I did or why I did it, okay, there's no official parentheses or exponents. So, I did this first because the multiply to get 56. Then looking at this step, I did this next for the multiply.
I wanted to start. Somebody draw something appropriate on the wall.
Okay, I'll let janitor know. If you're the next bell, I'm afraid the bells ring.
I'm second down.
Have they already?
That was car rider.
Car rider. Okay.
And this
So, yeah, you may go over to Wilkins. She's looking for you. And then the next step is add or subtract. So I did this subtract because I'm going from left to right. And then that. Okay, once again, guys, you are doing, and I'm going to kind of pan out, you are doing this set and this set. So this set and this set. I just did these in class on this video. So your homework is to finish it, this and this. Right? All the steps. Don't forget, keep studying for fraction to decimal equivalencies. Thank you.